Alrighty y'all, so I'm back with another video. So I did want to go over the trades from this past week. Well, not necessarily the trades from this past week. I keep saying that because this is like my third time trying to attempt to do this video. I am trying to go over the last trade that I took from this past week, which would have been yesterday night, is what I wanted to go over. And then I wanted to show how the strategy, the new strategy that I came up with, trading, basically taking into consideration the 4-hour chart so that I can try to intraday swing, how that is, how that actually played out this week, with the entry being in or being on the 1-hour chart. So I first wanted to start off with the futures trade. I am still currently taking the Top Step combine, so that's currently something I'm still trying to accomplish. So from this week, within that combine, well, actually, I don't necessarily know. I wish I had. I should have imported my trades. Is what I should have done, but into the trade zealous so that I could actually see what was actually accomplished this week. But right now the account is at $1,089. So I will go over this last trade from last night on this combine. So essentially, I did get into the trade a little bit late. Again, this is kind of a new strategy that or a new time period, new strategy new time period that I'm trading at, which is pretty much overnight. Trying to swing it so that I have more time, more runway, if you will, because Top Step closes trades out at 3 in the evening. So basically, my idea is to get into trades around 7 or 8 o'clock, and then be able to, close the trade once the market opens, a little bit after market opens. So last night, I actually got into the trade around 12 last night, as you can see here with this blue candlestick, or sorry, this blue arrow here. And then I set an alert for myself, basically for when price reached Asian high, to notify me. And so that did occur at 2 this morning. And so at 2, I did look at my phone and I did go ahead and close the trade. For whatever reason on TradingView, whenever I guess I'm trying to modify like the stop loss, it is saying that the order is getting lost, which is a bit annoying. And so because I was on, and I was trading the micros, and so I had about 5 contracts that were in, and I wanted to close 4 contracts and then move the last contract to break even. But again, with TradingView, for whatever reason, it's like losing the orders. So pretty weird, pretty annoying, but I decided to just close that out. So as you can see, price did kind of come back, came back down from the Asian high, but then ultimately went ahead and hit up here at the previous daily high. So it's another example of me. I should have held my trade. This would have been a $300 profit trade, so I did close with around I think it was like $168, and yeah, it's not showing anymore because it's technically a new day. So just wanted to show kind of the thesis behind this trade here. So this is kind of on the one hour chart, so I'm going to back up to the 4-hour chart. So I did drop my Fibonacci levels, which are represented by these price points here in the light purple. The first Fibonacci level was the 23.60% level. As you can kind of see, I can't necessarily remember if I used this candlestick, or I guess which candlestick it was. It was at the time, but as you can kind of see, if it were this candlestick, the 23 mark is kind of up there, and then it's just the 3.8. So I'm not necessarily sure where it was. It may have been right here. So I don't know, but I had marked up the Fibonacci levels, and then I marked the price point according to the level. So I was looking for price to come back down into this area. As you can also see, there's this 4-hour order block represented by this bearish candlestick here and this bullish candlestick that comes right after it on the 4-hour chart. I did mark this up and was looking again for price to kind of come back into this area here. So by the time I got into the chart late last night, this is kind of what was forming, I guess. We are not what was forming, I guess it is what had formed. Let me look here. So no, okay, so it was in the process of forming because I got into the trade at around 12. So this is kind of what I was looking for. So I was kind of now it's coming back to me. We had this 4-hour order block here, and so again I was looking for price to come into this 4-hour order block, potentially coming all the way down to this first Fibonacci level. It doesn't look like it actually did that. Yeah, it didn't do that at all, but it came close to it, responded or reacted off of this 4-hour order block, and price pushed up and made a new high. So the trade worked out very nicely. And again, I did set an alert for myself right when it hit Asian high, and ended up taking a take profit pretty much around right here because I had to like sign in and all this extra stuff, so I wasn't exactly able to get out right at Asian high. But again, I did take my take profit around right here. So overall, this was a good trade. I made half of what I was expecting to make because I did not hold the trade, but I felt pretty solid about this, considering that I really am a scalper. I would prefer to be trading and be in a trade for a couple of minutes, upwards of an hour. I don't really like swinging it, but I'm trying to take a different approach so that I can play within Top Steps rules and finally pass the challenge here. So that was my markup. Right now I'm drawing my markups right now on the Euro USD chart with Oanda, and then basically I'll just map that trade out on the futures micro Euro USD futures chart. So again, you can see I got in, and I'm gonna go back down to the 1-hour chart here to kind of show. So we had a break of structure after, and so I do remember being a little concerned that price may drop down again into these Fibonacci levels down here, because we kind of technically had I guess a break of this lower low with this candlestick here. However, kind of based on what's going on in the economy, Euro fundamentals basically would tell you that the Euro is kind of pretty bullish right now. So I decided to use common sense and position my trade accordingly. So I had my stop loss underneath this previous daily low, and significantly underneath this Fibonacci retracement level. And I put my stop loss kind of where I would want to be notified. It's kind of the approach that I'm taking now, is like wherever I would ordinarily put my stop loss, I'm just kind of marking that out now, and then I'm putting an alert in the event that price comes down and hits that stop loss. I'll be alerted, and then I can at that time decide if I want to close the trade or not. I've been finding that that's been kind of working really nicely for me. So that's what I've started to do. And then this stop loss, the actual stop loss, is like my max risk that I'm taking on the trade. So it just kind of makes me feel a little bit better, knowing that I can kind of get out of the trade, with less, with I guess a lesser loss, if you will. So anywho, on here, that is what I was concerned about. But again, the 4-hour chart, and the 4-hour order block, it did hit the top of that 4-hour order block, and then we got a break of structure pretty much. And I used this the high of this candlestick, of this bearish candlestick, to kind of mark out, I guess, the break of that high. And so we got the break of that high, and then price came back down into here, into kind of what was, or what would have been this 1 hour order block. And then we got a tremendous push right here. That came kind of afterwards. So, because I got into my trade around 12 again, so I was pretty much right here. So the trade was pretty much taken off of this 4 hour order block again. So ended up playing out pretty nicely, but I did just want to, show that, there was a break of structure, at least on the 1 hour chart here. And that is the reason why I ultimately got in off of, the 4 hour chart bias and off of the 4 hour order block. Coupled with also too, at this point in time, the market, the RSI was in an oversold position. As you can see right here, it's like down at the 9.79 point. And so that also was a confluence element point that made me decide to go ahead and get into the trade. So got into the trade there, and the rest was history. So pretty good trade from last night. And again, the account balance is now at $1,089.07. So that was that. One of the last things that I wanted to show was pretty much the bot strategy, or the bot and the strategy that I'm using, the new strategy that I'm using with the bot. So this is pretty much what transpired this week. Or maybe not even this week, because this trade got in on the 19th, and it is what, the 27th. So what is that, 8 days? So a little bit over a week. Essentially, it's kind of the same idea that I'm kind of using when I'm trading Euro USD, the futures, manually. It's basically going based off of the 4 hour chart, or I'm looking at the 4 hour chart, and then I'm placing the bot on the 1 hour and allowing it to get into entries based off of the 1 hour. Essentially, when price crosses and these should be SMAs in the bot's logic, it's actually considering the SMA, not the EMAs. But when the SMA, when the two SMAs cross, and I believe they're the 14 and the whatever, I guess I could just look at it if it'll open. Okay, here we go. Ooh, don't want to touch nothing. So yeah, so when it crosses when the 14 SMA and the 8 SMA cross, that's when the bot will actually get into a trade. And the RSI is in or near the 25 oversold side, and the 75 overbought position, but that's if we're going for a sell. So as of right now, in the market, the Euro USD is very bullish. So I've set the bot to only take buy trades. And so this week, or not even this week, 8 days ago, it got into a buy trade. And as you can see, price pushed up. It came back down to our entry point and went a little bit into drawdown, but then ultimately pushed on up, kind of consolidated. We got our first take profit at the beginning of consolidation, and then price, consolidated for, let me see, about a day before price kind of pushed on up, and we took the second take profit. And from there, price was basically trailing, and then I believe we got stopped out about right here. So this was an excellent trade this week, and I feel like I can wait about 8 days to make my money. Again, this is something new from somebody that basically, only wants to trade within minutes, no more than an hour. This is definitely like a new experience, but I think it's going to serve us well on our journey. So as you can see here, beforehand, I had a $6,000 loss, which is represented by this entry point right here. The bot, according to its logic, it got into a buy trade. However, we got stopped out. It waited and then it got into another buy trade, which ultimately, again, ended up being successful this week. So it made back what it lost, the 6,000. It was able to make back with that $10,800 first take profit, which is represented right there. And then you can see we got a couple of swaps that came through, $300 in swaps, which is crazy. But then we got another $905, another $905, which was taken at take profit too, and got a couple more swaps, and then ultimately price stopped out at that 989 mark. So quite a beautiful, amazing trade. So when I come over here into my FX book, sponsored by Forex.com, you can kind of see the trade represented here. So we were down quite a bit. I've kind of been doing a lot with this account, like trying to doing different strategies on here. So I really should have kind of made a new account. But anywho, you can see this week we did have a 40% gain this week, which is insane. And on this month, we had a 21% gain, or we've had a 21% gain. So in total this week, it was $12,694. And I would say that's all from that one trade. So total pips, or I'm assuming it's saying that's a pip difference, but I'm assuming that would still be the total pips is 498. So yeah, so now we're up basically in June, we're up 21, or we've made 21.54%. So just wanted to show that to you guys. Let me see if I can see the actual trade, the trade history. There we go. So you can see it kind of represented here. So first take profit was a 34.28% gain with that 10,800, crazy. And then the second take profit was a 2.14%, and then the last take profit was 2.29%. And you can see that took 7 days. So this particular strategy with the Rainforex robot is definitely a swing intraday strategy, which is considering primarily the 4-hour chart, with the entry being on the 1-hour chart. So just wanted to come in and stay kind of committed to making these videos, these daily, really just every other day recap videos. If you would like to try the Rainforex robot, you can at rain.anl.co/rainfinancial. I do have the lowest amount that you could get your hands on the bot for would be $95 a month, or you can buy it outright for $950. So I hope this video was helpful and that you gained a little bit of insight into what's possible with trading, and let me know what kind of other videos you guys would like to see. But I'm going to continue to basically journal my trades daily, and hopefully I can pass this top step challenge, and I think I will. I should be able to pass it if I pretty much hold my trades. I think we'll finally be able to pass that. So this has been another video. See y'all in the next one.